Okay, so today I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna do a commentary about a C fixed race I did. It's not a live commentary, um, so I'm just talking over the race, talking about my thought process, maybe some mistakes I made or someone else did, and maybe giving some tips here and there. We'll see. Oh yeah, one note, I accidentally, I think, turned off the grandstand in my graphics settings, so that's why it's kinda empty around the track here. So we're just starting here. I'm starting in 18th, I think. And on this track, there really isn't a second groove. It's just get to the inside of someone and overtake them. Yeah, and that's about it. You just also to like save tires, you have to really drive on the bottom, be kind of a bottom feeder, like I'm doing right here. Um, and it's like you always like here I'm blocking a guy because I don't feel like being overtaken right here. Would just be too much of a hassle. And there goes the 9 car. It was swapped out, so now we're gonna have. You always need to look ahead, so not just like at the nose of your car, but you need to look further ahead. So right now in the race, I'm just cruising a bit, looking in my rear mirror if the guard behind isn't dive bombing me, and just kind of chilling a bit. Now I'm gonna be stuck behind the 13 and we're almost gonna crash here. It's pretty close, and I think here I drive in too deep, and then he has the exit speed, and I'll just go in behind him. It's also like you have to balance out, like I'm gonna be staying behind the 13 for a while here, and it's like a balancing out between just riding along behind somebody and having the guy behind you being a bit aggressive, because the 15 behind me is using up a bit more tire, and he's going faster in these couple of laps. But spoiler alert, we have a 33 lap green run, so this is gonna take a while before the caution is gonna come out. So you really have to save some tires, which the 15 isn't doing, and that's why I'm also pushing a bit. And in this race, I'm not really doing a good job of saving tires. Like I'm driving on the bottom, like my line is reasonable, but I just drive it in too fast because I don't want to fit the 15 to overtake me. But maybe I should have just let him go, save a bit of my tires, and then overtake people. I don't know. It's just in the moment decision making, you know. Also in like you see the 13 and the 7 doing here, that's why the 13 is pushing up the track really hard, is they're clipping the apron in 3 and 4, which you really need to not do. There is a bump when you go from turn 3 to 4, which you need to watch out for. But like if you clip the apron, you're gonna go sideways a bit. You can keep your line, but you're gonna be slower, or you're just pushing up. Also, you see like the 13 is rubber banding a bit, so like if the car in front of you is rubber banding a bit, you also always gotta watch out for that. Like I'm European, and I'm like iRacing on NASCARs mostly with Americans, so I always need to watch out for netcode and that kind of stuff because my ping is a bit higher think it's like 100 or 125, so I always have to be a bit more careful. Like here you see the 13 warping, and I'm just trying to follow the 13 right now, like I said, and so he's overtaking the 7, so I'm just gonna follow him. That was the plan. So now you're like side by side, but there isn't really a second line like I said in 3 and 4, so if I just go full throttle here, you just clear him like that. This isn't really a great track, and certainly not a great setup for the track. Because like if you're not on the bottom in 1 and 2, you're just gonna fly to the wall and you need to lift. And in 3 and 4, it's just flat out. So you need to just hug the bottom and mash the gas, I guess. You can't really overtake anywhere. It's a lot of blocking. Like if you run your lines correctly, it's not really like possible to attack on the outside or do some crossover moving. The leader's probably like running on restarts like the very bottom on the backstretch, just so no one can get underneath them. And yeah, that's just how you need to do it to win the race here. So in order to save tires, let's move on to a new point. You really need to take a low line and be slowed down enough in the center. It's mostly about 1 and 2, because 3 and 4 is wide open, of course, but in 3 and 4 you have to hug the white line and not come off the corner. Like the 13 is pushing up a bit off of 4. And also like I'm entering probably a bit too high in 1 and 2. I was like I said, I'm not really that great at saving tires anyways, also not in this race. And there's the 21. It was pretty close, but you always get that because if you don't drive as close to the bottom as you can, you're just gonna wash up and go closer to the wall. So it's logical that people are kind of squeezing you on the bottom there. And like now I'm just driving along with the 13. The 15 is kind of out of the picture right now. Maybe I should have created some space between me and the 13, so I could like focus more on driving the line that I want to drive, because I always have like, oh, here you see the 17 and the 22 like blocking. I always have that if I'm really close to a car in front of me, I kinda mimic that car. So that's also why you need to look ahead. You need to focus on the track in front of you, not the car in front of you, so that you can run your own line and focus on your own race. So I'm just coming off the corner a bit lower, but that doesn't really matter. Maybe it saves a bit of tire, but at this point that doesn't really matter. I think here, right now, oh, I'm going below the 13. So yeah, that's right. This is the racing here. You just get below somebody and you can overtake them. The 17 didn't see me here because he thought that I was further back, so I had to dive a bit to the left. You always gotta stay alert when you see that, because a lot of the times people think they can squeeze in still, or if there's enough room, you just gotta give people a bit more space. If you're not really sure what they're gonna do, if you're not really sure if they see you, just give them a bit more space. Of course, you want to race hard, but like this is halfway to the finish, so take what you can get and be easy about it. I also want to give some tips on how to be faster, because I have right now like 3800 iRating. So I'm not the fastest guy, I'm not claiming to be the fastest guy. But like for me, like the journey from like your starting iRating to this iRating, like around 4K, I've learned a lot from like just choosing the fastest guy. Wait, hold on, wrap it up. You save a replay from a race, and you watch it back, and you just click on the fastest guy or the fastest guys in the race that you were in, and you watch what they do and what you do and see where they are gaining time on you, and you try to mimic that. That's how I really learn a lot, and learn about saving tires, learn about faster lines, how to race clean and fast. You just gotta watch some replays and then try to mimic it. You also can, like, if you have around like 1500 iRating and the fastest guy in your split is not really that much better than you or anything, then you can just you can watch races while they're happening on iRacing. You just gotta go to watch spot races, and then you can also go to like the top split guys. Sometimes there is like an e-NASCAR driver that's in there, and you can see what they're doing. They have like 6,000-7,000 iRating. They know what they're doing. You can like see what lines they're running, how their lap time fall off is, and you know, learn from that. I'm still learning from that. That's always a good thing to do. You can also like watch some Twitch streams of good iRacers. There's a lot to be learned from watching replays and then trying it a bit yourself. So that's like one thing. Like if you wanna practice a track, of course go out there, run some laps, see what you can do. Then if you feel like you're stuck, just watch some replays of some faster guys and try to mimic that. You can also do that at the beginning, so you know which lines to run, so that you don't have to spend time really fine-tuning your line. You just watch a replay and see how other people are doing it, and then you just gotta practice. Also, I know it's really fun to hot lap and just do qualifying runs, or just do like 5 lap runs and then come into the pits and do it again. Just mess around a bit and practice, but like for example in this race I haven't really practiced long runs, and I've shot my tires a bit, and it's still green after 26 laps, which is a fucking miracle for C-Fixed, but it is the case. So I should have, and you should also practice your long runs, so that like if you notice you're like really shooting up your tires, you're really plowing through the corners, you can fix that and be okay on long runs. If they do happen, you be prepared for that. And especially like in longer races, NIS, fixed and open, those longer races, there's bound to be like a 40-50 lap run somewhere in there, even if you have a lot of caution. So you really need to know how to save tires and like have a consistent lap time fall off. Like C-Fixed isn't the best place to practice that, because there's a lot of yellows normally, not in this race, but normally there is. So you just have short runs and you just kind of push and try to pass as many people as possible where your tires are still new. But in those longer races, and also sometimes in CVIX, you have those um, longer runs and you really need to know how to take care of your tires. So here we're coming up on lap 30, and as you see, you're still full throttle 3 and 4, so 3 and 4 isn't really that spectacular here, just gotta hug the bottom a bit. Then 1 and 2, you really gotta slow it down in the center, which I'm not really doing. As you can see, the 22 is driving away from me, so I overdrove the corner a bit. And my tires, like I said, are already a bit shot, so I'm just, right now everybody's just cruising around. I think in a few laps the caution will come. So we'll see what happens there. Also here you gotta watch out, you see on the relative that there's a slower car, so that's a 17, it's a lap down car that's letting people by. Always gotta be aware of that. The relative is really a great piece of information for you, for your lap times, how far people are behind or in front of you, so I really recommend to always have your relative out, at least some information about your surroundings. Also one more thing, like you see in the middle of my screen I have the speedometer and which gear I'm in, how much throttle I have. I've pointed it there to have more information. You see someone spinning there, and this is the yellow flag I'm talking about. So now the field is gonna bunch up, we're gonna go behind the pace car and we're gonna do a pit stop. Also, that's one more thing, if you really wanna be prepared for everything, practice your pit entries, also practice your pit entries on older tires, because you're gonna slide a bit more. And you need to watch out for people accelerating to the line and then mashing the brakes to get to pit road speed, because everybody's like trying to maximize, so they're going like 50 in the 45 and then they have to really slow down to not get a speeding penalty. And then you also gotta like practice to, you know, stay on that 45 miles an hour like I'm not doing right now. So here I am, this is a suboptimal pit entrance, but it is what it is. I'm also a bit stupid with the driving away. In the trucks you get a lot of wheel spin and I'm just like, I think I was trying to get it into second gear, but I was already mashing the gas, so that's never gonna happen. But I don't lose a position, or in fact I lose one position because there is a guy, I think the 13 car right now, that is on 2 tires. And as you can see, or just saw on a relative, maybe I'll switch it again, it's that I had 7380 on the outside tires, so that's the tire degradation. It's pretty bad. Not gonna lie, pretty bad. So now you also gotta be aware, like it's the 34 out of the 40 laps, and the field is bunched up again, so people are gonna be fighting a lot more. I'll just let this play out and I'll come back at the green flag. Alright, so now we're back for the restart. Starting here in 11th, so on the inside. And spoiler alert again, I'm gonna clip the grass and move up a bit, and then I'm gonna be a bit dirty, and I'm gonna block the 22, and I'm gonna get a loft tap for it. So let's watch and see it played out. The 13 is on 2 tires, that right there. This is a pretty weird start, honestly. So I'm really close to the car in front of me, and I'm not looking at the track, and here I clip the grass. Whoop, go up a bit, block the 22, and then the caution is gonna come out. And I am gonna mash the brakes because I'm too close to the 12, and then the 22 is gonna give me a loft tap. That is all on me, of course. But there is almost no damage on both cars. So I'll come back again when the final green flag run happens, and then we'll see how this race ends. Alright, so we're back for the final restart. I'm on the outside this time, doesn't really matter. The 12 is probably shifting a bit incorrectly because I'm getting a launch here, or he's damaged, I don't know. So like right now everybody's on new tires except for the 13 that's gonna go high here. Here you see him. So watch out for cars on older tires, of course, always. And for the rest you can't really do much here. Like, I'm too far back to make any move. Everybody's just mashing the gas and blocking like hell because, you know, that's what you do here. Here the 5 is gonna be tapped and move up. Makes a really nice save. I think he's fine, he's just gonna lose a lot of positions. For the rest you can't really do anything here, like everybody's full throttle. Oop. 3 clips the apron there, and that's the race. So this is my first first commentary of a race. Let me know if you like it, and I'll do more of them. Alright, that's it. Goodbye.